light is warm, reassuring, and filled with hope. It is given equally to all living things, and grants them its blessings without reserve. That's why I reject the light. It doesn't suit a man soaked with sin like me.
Hi everyone, welcome to U 2.0 Gaming. We're going to go over celebratory Griff from the half anniversary banner in Nier Reincarnation. Let's take a closer look at his kit so we can decide whether he is worth our precious gems or not. Alright, let's get to it. What stands out straight away is Griff's HP pool, as he has one of the highest base HPs out of all the recently featured banner units. Although that comes at a cost of having a fairly average attack and defense. Griff's agility is above average, and that is a perk for PvP, and it's always good to see that in a support oriented character, as he will get a chance to apply his debuffs before your main damage dealers. Before we jump to any conclusions, we should take a look at his skills, as it brings about some pretty interesting turn of events. Griff's character skill is a 3-hit combo that deals very ordinary damage, but comes with a 50% attack debuff, which will be very handy in boss fights when you can't burst them down. Griff's first passive is a significant damage buff as long as he stays above 70% HP, so there is synergies with weapons and teammates that provides healing. Griff's second passive boosts the stats of water elemental weapons that is in Griff's loadouts by up to 40%. That is quite a significant boost to his overall stats, especially when the water elemental weapon is in his main hand. At first glance, Griff has pretty mediocre stats overall, barring his very high base HP, which on its own is fairly useless at the current stage of the game, since we do not have any ways to attract aggro. So it would seem that Griff will be stuck playing the role of the attack debuffer. However, Griff's two passives will be saving grace, as they provide both a significant damage boost and stat boost, provided that he can keep his HP topped up. Griff's low character skill multiplier still prevents Griff from being eligible as a main damage dealer on your team. However, he does fit the role of a support character who can debuff enemies and provides long chain combos, as gun weapons tend to have a high hit count in their weapon skills. He does have above average DPS for a support character. Griff would best fit in a team that is orientated around sustained DPS with healing capabilities. An example would be a water affinity team with poison based weapon skills, which will have excellent survivability and damage over time. Water-based weapons tend to be orientated around buffing defense and applying poison damage, which fits Griff's style of slow and steady wins the race. So what do we know about Griff so far? He is a support type character, he has a beefy HP pool, his preferred weapon is guns, which tend to have a high hit count in their weapon skills. Therefore, two sets of memoirs come to mind. The first being the ephemeral set, which further increases the amount of hits that Griff can dish out, therefore increasing the length of combos, which will help your main damage dealer hit harder. The second choice will be the Young Lord Studies, as it synergizes with his high HP pool, because keep in mind that set bonuses applies to both the base character and companion stats. This will also help Griff with staying above the 70% HP threshold for the damage buff from his second passive. I would prioritize critical rate and attack on the main stats of the memoir pieces, while looking for critical rate, attack, HP, critical damage, and agility on the substats. Now let's go have a look at his signature weapon. Griff comes loaded with the Formal Salute as his signature weapon. Its stats and skills are very much tailor made for Griff. The first skill allows you to keep a consistent attack debuff on a single enemy, while the second skill deals a decent amount of damage while healing the user for 10% of their HP. The passive increases water elemental damage and further augments the user's HP by 15%. It is definitely a top tier weapon in a water elemental team, although its usefulness as a sub-slot weapon is quite marginal due to one of the passives being useless if your main weapon is not water elemental. Griff's ability to consistently debuff an enemy's attack while being quite tanky and dealing respectable sustained damage over time, as long as he can stay above 70% HP, makes him a unique addition to the roster of characters that we have. Though he isn't suitable for burst damage composition. For that, you would be better off with a support with a offense related buff or the ability to debuff the enemy's defense. However, if you are running a more balanced team composition with say a healer and damage dealer, Griff would be a very valuable addition, especially in a water elemental team. All in all, Celebratory Griff is a nice to have but not must have character. I wouldn't go out of my way to summon for him. especially taking into consideration that the anniversary banner has 4 featured characters. I hope all of this helps you make an informed decision. Good luck in your summons, and until next time.